understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, August 31st, 2019. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we have 2 new episodes this week.
Yes, and I am so happy because this is the second time we're recording and the sound quality is so much better.
It's perfect. You sound perfect. I mean, you always sound perfect to me, Ed.
Aww. Thank you, Sarah.
But yeah, I don't think there's a lag. So busy weekend. Labor Day weekend. A lot of 3-day weekends going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ed, my husband's birthday is... I shouldn't have to think about that. Sunday.
Yeah.
My sister's in town with my brother-in-law and her baby for baptism stuff. I'm the godparent. So we've got birthdays, we've got baby stuff, we have family coming into town for all kinds of things. I'm excited for this weekend. What's going on with you?
Oh, well, it was my sister's birthday yesterday, and my parents are out of town visiting her. So I got the house to myself. And yeah.
So Irene, in honor of your birthday, Ed's going to throw a rager. The cops are going to come and break it up, and he's going to have to clean it all up. And there's going to be pizza on the turntable, and yeah.
Well, there will be pizza on the turntable. That much I can promise. I don't know about anything else, but.
So right now, happening outside of my house right now, there's a team of 2 very young people who are assembling a scaffolding to fix our fireplace. They showed up with 2 trucks full of tubes that they have built into this enormous rickety scaffolding that they're going to use to get to the top of my house with bricks. I don't know, man. If you hear screams or music or thunking or anything, it's scaffolding or scaffolding related accidents.
Wow.
Yeah. Big weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little bit of housekeeping. Just want to let people know. I do notice, and this is partially our fault because we have not been as active on Twitter lately. We are at DCTV Report. Throw us something, because a lot of the episodes have been, posted on demand before they're airing. So I haven't been doing a lot of live tweeting in the last few weeks, but I think we will try to make an effort to throw some stuff out there for our Twitter followers. And if you have a question, you can email us, dctv@wickedtheory.com. I'd love to hear from you. Actually, I meant to contact our friend Dan Evans because I would have liked his opinion on something that happened. We'll talk about that later when we get to Titans. And yeah, also, if you like what we're doing here, if you're a fan of us or, Wicked Theory Studios, Preacher vs. Preacher, or the Wicked Theory podcast, we do have a Patreon, and it's Patreon/Wicked Theory. And if you give just $1 a month, it helps out with our overhead costs, those lips and subscriptions and different things.
Ed, does it pay for the different markers, the different highlighters that you use to code the different plot lines for our episodes every week?
Yes. I fill in an expense report. We take out some petty cash. But
forms in triplicate. I've told you, triplicate.
Yes, but also for that $1 a month, you get to unlock a secret podcast that I co-host with our executive producer Bill Sweeney. It's called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I have meticulously organized a viewing order of the James Bond franchise. and I'm forcing Bill to watch these movies one by one, and I'm not forcing him because he loves them. He's learning to appreciate James Bond 007 as much as I do, and it's a lot of fun. Last one we did was Living Daylights. We're going to record one sometime this weekend, and I can't tell you what that is because Bill might listen to this episode beforehand, and he's not supposed to know what we're going to watch until right before we watch it.
Can you give us a hint? Can you drop an oblique?
Ooh, can I give you a hint?
Can you sing the first 3 notes of the theme song or?
Oh, well, I could do that. That's enough.
That was so much better than I expected. Awesome.
It's just one of the more memorable theme songs. I just get anyone who's like a half in, half out, who's a casual James Bond fan should know that theme song.
Yeah, full disclosure, I didn't, but I'm not even a casual fan, I don't think. So
that's all the business that's going on. Happy birthdays to everybody.
God bless us, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, you ready to dive into some episodes?
Absolutely.
All right, we got 2 of them this week, and the first one up is Pennyworth, Season 1, Episode 6, Cilla Black. Lord Harwood told the Sykes sisters he was well enough to murder the Prime Minister. John Ripper pointed Alfred to a witch to learn about Esme's killer. Thomas Wayne was ordered to broker a truce between the No Name League and the Raven Society. Patricia Wayne dragged Martha Kane to a Satanist party hosted by Aleister Crowley. Last minute reveal, Martha woke up naked and alone near a dying tree in the middle of nowhere.
What the heck was this episode? I did not expect a sudden, enormous vault into the occult for Pennyworth, but here we are. It's like the writers watched The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut and also a little bit The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and were like, I know what we're going to do with Martha. And then I enjoyed it. I just wasn't expecting it. How about you?
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where, like, if you take 10 minutes and think about what was going on in Britain in the 60s, it actually makes a lot of sense. Whereas, in America,
does it?
Well, in America, we had the hippie movement, we had free love, and everyone, beatniks and everyone wanting to be peaceful. And then in Britain, you had rich guys trying to tell people that, well, Satan is the real person you should be worshiping. And
that's really the biggest national difference in our characters, really.
Yes.
Like our national character for US versus England.
Yes. Well, and what's weird is, Aleister Crowley was a real person, and did influence, did have a lot of connections to people high up in British society and entertainment. I know there's, I'm not sure of the exact story, but I do know that he became very good friends with Jimmy Page, the lead guitarist of Led Zeppelin, later on. So yeah. I mean, Charles Manson stayed over Dennis Wilson's house in the Beach Boys. So they're very, very different people with very, very different goals. But and kind of they the way they play Crowley kind of lives up to his reputation is that, yes, he was a cult organizer, but really he just wanted to get laid.
So you were more useful with the real person aspect of that. I mostly was staring at that actor thinking, did I know him from something 10 or 20 years ago? And I didn't, as it turns out. So I have nothing. I'm useless in this conversation. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
But this was my favorite part of the episode were the 2 women in in Thomas's life. Boy, how often are we going to confuse Thomas and Bruce? Because they're kind of like this. Yeah. the two women in Thomas's life kind of hanging out, and I thought the Martha Thomas relationship is continuing to evolve in an interesting way. Boy, Sister Wayne is just like a garbage person. She's a chaos demon. I love her.
Yes, yeah, and of course she would get mixed up in all of that. Of course
she would. Of course, I would have been disappointed if she hadn't.
And poor Martha getting mixed up in all that. I hope she's okay. I
do too.
I hope she finds her way home. I hope she gets some clothes.
I hope Thomas cradles her face in his hands and says seriously in a low guttural voice, "Who did this to you?" And then that's okay. Well, I'm writing fan fiction now. So.
I was gonna say I'm trying to wait. Okay, how far do I let her go?
Oh no, I know my audience. That's as far as I'm going.
The real dangerous person in here, Lord Harwood. We didn't get that much. I think we were only 2 scenes with Harwood and the Psych Sisters.
He's come a long way, baby.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell it looks like there's months that happen between episodes of this show.
It would help if they had a title card that came up 6 months later after previous episodes. That would be nice.
But he's getting his confidence back. And yeah, he's eyeing the prime minister, and I think he's starting to get dangerous, and I don't really know if Bet and Peggy are going to be able to control him. It seems like he's already taking charge.
I will be curious about that dynamic because they really brought him back to health, and I'm sure for a long time he was uber dependent on them. So that shift in dynamic will be interesting. Mostly, I'm glad they covered up his nose hole.
Yes, that was a very good discussion, and you know what? Actually, pretty good prosthetic.
Yeah, I mean, for Jason and I both were like, did he regenerate? What? No. So it just took some looking to see where So well done, 60s cosmetic. Prosthetic, whatever that is.
Yeah, and I also love how Bet is immediately at his side and cheering him on, and is ready to take his orders. And Peggy is a little bit more skeptical. She's a little bit more slow to that.
We'll see which one is smarter there, but I feel like Peggy.
Yeah, and Thomas Wayne was having a rough time this week. He had his sister showed up in town. He had to take care of all that, and at the same time had to organize this meeting between the No Name League and the Raven Society, and he kind of really learned where his bosses fell on this. I feel like not his best moment. He's under a lot of stress. He needs a hug.
Yes. Poor Thomas. I feel like Alfred also had some moments this week.
Yes.
Wherein he cut somebody's hand off and his friends approach him like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing, friend? Everything good with you?" Because what else do you do when your buddy, who just is supposed to bounce people, does so much more than that?
Yeah. You ever have that friend who just had so much going on? He shouldn't have come to the party. You should have just stayed at home, gotten some sleep. This isn't really good for you.
We thought he was doing better. He seemed so much healthier, but then he cut that dude's hand off, and I don't know, maybe we rushed him back to work. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take that glass of scotch. Oh, you can keep it. You can keep it. Just finish that one. Yeah. So I like the show. I like that it's getting intense. I like that you have a lot of different storylines, but they're all seeming to weave together.
I like that the witch had a cat that looks like Ron Perlman.
Yes, we get to meet Baroness Ortson. This was
Sure.
And what's funny is, like, coming from John Ripper, he's a gangster. You're thinking like he knows someone in a back alley who has a name, who keeps track of all these things. Like it's going to be some mob connection. It's like, no, I'm sending you to a witch.
Again, this was not what I expected to happen.
Yeah, and evidently, well, it's the DC universe, so supernatural stuff is possible.
True that. Hey, by the way, so we talked about the episode title last week with Shirley Bassey, who's a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Cilla Black is the episode title this week, and she is also a 60s British singer. And it looks like the rest of the season has 60s British actresses and singers as episode title names. And on the one hand, cool, but on the other hand, it bothers me because it's inconsistent with the early episodes, which were Martha Kane and Lady Penelope, and weren't quite the same. I wish they'd all been 60s British singers.
Yes. Oh,
dang it, Pennyworth.
Yeah, The Landlord's Daughter. That was another one.
So it's not quite consistent, but they are all named for women. And I do like that we're leaning hard into lady 60s singers. And I will say, Cilla Black, the episode title this week, had a song called Alfie.
Oh.
In the 60s.
Okay. I wonder if that was connected to the movie Alfie, starring Michael Caine.
I did not go deep into that as much as I could have. It wasn't immediately obvious in my Google search. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last thing. Do we think it's really the captain who killed Esme?
Oh,
I don't.
No. It seems a little too far-fetched for me.
It's too out of left field. Somebody we haven't really seen before did it, and it's too easy. I think there has to be some kind of twist. Somebody is controlling the captain. It was Satan. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yes. Oh, and one other thing, a bit of a correction I need to make. So the new head of the Raven Society, Mrs. Thwaite, her first name is Undine. It is not Margot, as I said last week, because I misheard John Ripper. I thought he was saying Margot, when really he was saying my girl.
Okay, that makes sense.
Margot. Which, sometimes subtitles help. Sometimes. All right. Anything more to say in this episode?
No, you took me on a journey, Pennyworth. Thank you for that.
All right. So our next up, our last episode to talk about for today is Preacher, Season 4, Episode 5, Bleak City. Arseface began to have doubts as the Saint of Killers followed Jesse's trail around Melbourne. At the Holy Bar and Grail, Cassidy claimed he wanted to help Jesse, the Archangel was reunited with his demon lover, and Jesus claimed he wanted to walk the earth with Tulip. Last minute reveal, Jesse lay in the street with a bullet in his back, and Arseface and the Saint of Killers standing over him.
Okay, look, they made Jesus hotter this week, and I don't appreciate it. Stop it, Preacher. Jeez. So what do you think about Preacher's Jesus?
Well, I approve. I think it was fun. I like that. I actually think it makes sense that no, I don't think I want to go waving a gun around a bank killing people. I don't think that's for me. I think I just want you to drop me back off at the compound, and I'll meet with Hitler and plan the apocalypse. That's more my speed.
I did like in that flash, that poor guy at the bank, Jesus? That would be hard to wrap your brain around. I'm actually surprised. If you had asked me to picture what Jesus would be like in 2019, okay, it's not quite like this, but it's a more straightforward take on our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ than I expected Preacher to give us. Right? I mean, like, I feel like Preacher always takes our expectations about these deities, these big characters, and really kind of subverts it. And this Jesus feels like he's a cool, loving, accepting, chill dude. Like, that feels like Jesus. So I was just a little, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop with him, that he'd turn around and actually would like casually murder somebody and then walk away. But it's very straightforward. It's very confusing. I expected a left turn with this, and there has been none. Jesus is just like cool. He hugged it out with Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's not cool. Don't hug Hitler. But,
but
Jesus would.
That's the thing. Like, you know, whenever you have, I feel like a lot of, it's funny. Last episode we were talking about Aleister Crowley and like cults, and I feel like a lot of cult leaders, at least, you know, you see them portrayed in entertainment, they have this sense like they want to be like Jesus. You know, they want people to think of them as this guru, as this savior and all powerful, and they preach love, but they twist their followers to their personal means. And it's the kind of thing where, like, no, Jesus up front, hey, I want you to love everybody, and he actually means it and walks. It's like, no, he's just a really cool dude who loves everybody. You know, and like that whole thing he has with Hitler, where it's like, I can't really condone what you do, and I'm not gonna shake your hand because I don't respect the way you handle yourself, but I love everybody, so I'm gonna give you a hug. Like, like, oh, that's Jesus. So. Actually, I find this very respectful.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by the amount of respect. And I mean, the season isn't over yet, so Jesus could still take a turn toward the weird or sadistic or what have you. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And you know who else? You know who I was really proud of this week? I got a moment I've been waiting for like 3 years, which was Arseface finally got his apology.
Yeah, it didn't do any good though.
No, and it was weird because, like, I just want Jesse to apologize. I like, and I feel like when he sees him, he's gonna have that. And that moment went down exactly how I thought it would. Where, like, Jesse felt sorry, he felt bad. He said, "Hey, Eugene, you've had such a tough time. I'm really sorry. I wish that hadn't happened." And what I didn't realize that was awesome was that Arseface is going to say, okay, it's still not enough, and turn on him. And it felt like a moment out of a Donald Westlake novel, and it was just amazing. I just, when he turned, I thought dramatically, narratively, like, oh, this is where it's at. So I love that moment.
It did catch me by surprise. I honestly, they had me believing that Eugene was such a good, sweet, forgiving, accepting character that would be it. And then, bam.
Yeah. I will say I've finished reading the graphic novels. And Arseface is my least favorite character. And I love what they did with him in this show. I think this
Samesies.
Yes.
Hard same. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not want to see him become a rock star?
No. It was. I mean, that's more. This is more of a preacher versus preacher thing. But to me, that storyline is so dated, and so like, you know, I mean, anyone under 25, you need to explain like who Kurt Cobain is.
So, gather round, boys and girls. Nirvana.
well, also, like, that was a thing in the mid 90s that I remember as a kid seeing on the news about, like, kids, you know, killing themselves or committing act of violence and saying that they did it because they listened to heavy metal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's really no context for that kind of a story today.
Yeah, I agree. And so they had to do something different with Eugene, and I'm glad. I like where they've gone with him. I don't like that it has involved Hitler as much as it has. And I still think he and the Saint of Killers are a strange pair. And yet it's kind of working this season a little bit because the utter sweetness of the one and the utter blackness of the other, right, of his soul, kind of is an interesting pairing. And now that they're on the same, now that they're sharing a goal, that closing shot of this episode was fantastic. That overhead Jesse in the middle, and then the Saint and Eugene on either side of him. Good stuff.
Yeah. And so we had some cashing in on stuff. We had some good movement going forwards. I think the Jesse, Eugene, and Saint of Killers relationship, you had a huge move forward, and you also had a really, really cool moment. And visually, I love the way they handled this. Was the Archangel coming into contact with his demon lover,
who we didn't know was a demon at first.
Yes,
she just looked like a classy broad,
and
then that tail popped out.
Yes, and just the idea they have a lovely evening, and then a very passionate night, and then in the morning it's like, all right, I'm already tired of this, and they just start killing each other.
So here's my question, guy who's finished the comic book. Is that the angel demon combination? And I'm trying to be kind of vague about this for those who haven't read it, that is in the comics?
Well, it's a very different interpretation of them, but I think the idea is the same. I don't know if they will have the backstory from the comics with those people. I think we're gonna have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious too. So, I won't say any more about that. But yes, that I enjoyed that fight. I super love the return to the corpses of angels and demons all over the place as they keep respawning. I that's one of my favorite things that the show has introduced. So I agree, that was cool. Can we talk about Cass and Tulip?
Yeah, that was the one thing about this episode that was kind of a bummer.
You take that back. What? What didn't you like about
it? Okay, so I just feel like narratively, I think, what happened with them, I just feel like Cassidy was spinning tires too much this episode. I feel like he was
this is the spinning tires season, so.
Yeah, I just feel like he spent this whole episode moping around that bar, not wanting to make a decision, and then finally he made a decision. That he made a decision at the end of the episode that he should have made, he should have made 30 minutes ago. So
I can see that.
Yeah, I like how it ended up. I just thought it took us too long to get there.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I've just leaned into it this season, so. I loved his reunion with Tulip. I loved that genuine hug. They were actually excited to see each other. I like the two of them together, actually. And I came to a realization where I actually lifted up out of my body and realized something that's going to help me finish out this season, and then came back down. I was the Oliver, Dinah, Black Arrow, or Black Canary, Green Arrow comic shippers who hate Felicity with this show. I am Jesse and Tulip forever and ever, ride or die because of the comic. The show is different. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay that I actually think Cass and Tulip together make a little more sense. I hate that I do, but I get it. So I'm not going to be the Green Arrow, Black Canary, Felicity should die person. Those people are terrible. The show is different, and that's okay. It took me this long to come to there. Yeah. But I had this realization because I really liked seeing those two together. Obviously, Cass telling Jesse that they had sex isn't great, but when she came back for him, I was quite relieved by that. So there was, that is the internal realization I had, and I'm much cooler about everything now. So
okay,
yay.
Now, what's the version of that story where you think Ray Palmer was better for Felicity? What's the analog there?
He's Brandon Routh. I mean, that's easy. I think Ray and Felicity were a great pair, but I think that they were too similar. I'm not sure that you can have two tech geniuses would be cool, but I like the way Felicity's brains work with Oliver's brawn. Not that Oliver is stupid, and not that Felicity isn't physically capable, but I think those kind of opposites attract. Whoa. I can do this all day.
Wow. I see. I'm just trying to draw hatred from Twitter. That's what I'm doing right now. Because I feel that way, and I feel like no one felt that way. But we're talking about Preacher here. So what's the Preacher version?
Wait, so why do you think Felicity and Ray are better together than Felicity and Oliver?
I don't know. I thought I liked the chemistry that they had. I think there's actually one moment in the show where she turns to someone and says he has Barry Allen's brain and Oliver Queen's body. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, she's not wrong.
And you know, I kind of thought Oliver and Sarah. I thought that second season was great, but
I did too. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think it's a testament. Okay, we're just
yeah.
Excuse us while we have a mini Arrow breakdown. I think it's a testament to the goodness of those two characters. Oliver and Felicity are interesting, complex, compelling, good people, and you can pair them with other interesting people, and it's going to work because the characters are so well drawn. That's what I think, and that's why, yeah, I'm going to do it. On The Flash, have we seen Iris with anybody else? I mean, there was Eddie, but and I just don't think the characters were as interesting, so it wasn't as fun to watch them with other people. But Oliver and Felicity, they built such great character. Holy cow, we're talking about Preacher.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, okay. So here's how I bring it back to Preacher. And again, this is kind of well, I won't spoil it, but you know, if you read the books and you know the way the books end, I do see a pathway for that from where the show is now. So I'll be interested to see whether or not they follow that path, or if they flip everything on its head somehow.
I think I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
We should be having this conversation on Preacher versus Preacher. You're right.
Yes. Which Bill has been threatening to have you on for a couple of weeks now.
And yet he never calls. He never writes.
Ooh.
I think you guys are recording way too fast for me to be able to roll with that, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, I'm gonna have a conversation with him later today. All right. All right. Was there anything more to talk about with Preacher?
I don't think so. No, I think we hit all the points I wanted to make.
All right, then let's do so. Next week we have a new season dropping, a new show dropping, and I thought we could do a little refresher for that. And that show is Titans. Sarah, do you remember what happened in season 1 of Titans?
I remember vaguely season 1. I remember the season 1 finale being not good.
Ooh, yeah, it's weird because you know a lot of times I like to watch this if a show's dropping the week before. I like to watch the season finale from the previous season. And so here was the recap that I wrote for that episode, which was titled Dick Grayson. And it was Dick Grayson was enjoying his cozy life married to Dawn with their son Johnny and a baby girl on the way. Jason Todd urged Dick to return to Gotham and try to confront Batman, who had finally gone off the deep end. And the last minute reveal was somewhere in Metropolis, a superhuman man with the House of L's crest tattooed on his shoulder killed a bunch of scientists and uncaged his white dog with glowing red eyes.
You know what I love? I love a Superman who kills people.
So yeah, and I remember they filmed 13 episodes for the first season of Titans, and they only released 11. I don't know if that was a programming issue or a scheduling issue. I remember thinking it was very odd. So Titans, if you don't know, it's a takeoff on the Teen Titans, and it's Dick Grayson, befriending a handful of superpowered teens and tweens, and them, kind of on the run from these bad guys. And the main ones we got to meet were Starfire, Raven, and Beast Boy. And
with a little bit of Hawk and Dove in there. Yes,
yeah. We along the way we got to meet Hawk and Dove, and Donna Troy, Wonder Girl.
Mm.
and yeah, so by the end of it, they're in this house, and Trigon or his followers have unleashed Trigon, or using Raven, and that last episode was a dream that Dick Grayson was having while he was under Trigon's spell.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, and it's like, I understand that episode, but it felt like a poor choice for a finale. I just give us the other two. So I'm looking forward to the real season 1 finale coming up next Friday.
Funny. Hey, you want to do news for Titans while we're talking about it?
Yeah. Well, just before we do that, could you just give me your general impressions of Titans? Because I feel like I've been talking about this too much.
Sure. Titans was a show that I was kind of skeptical about after the pilot. I didn't love the dark and and then by, I would say, maybe episode 3 or 4, it kind of clicked for me, and I really enjoyed it. It had some very strong episodes in the middle, and then it disappointed me with the finale. So I was kind of roller coastery, unlike Doom Patrol, where I was on board from the beginning and it was just fantastic from the get. And Swamp Thing also, I feel like that's a show that I enjoyed right away, and it stayed really consistent. Titans felt a little more up and down, or maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe you loved every episode except for the finale, and that was just, my adjusting to that storytelling. But
yeah, no, I feel like it was a little too bro-y at times, and you could tell, like, we're going to be dark and edgy for the sake of being dark and edgy.
Yeah, maybe that was my complaint with it.
Some of the character beats weren't earned, but I think overall, I like the characters, I like the performances, and I'm interested to see how they handle season 2, and where it looks like they're upping the stakes and introducing a lot of new characters, and it looks like it's going to go in a very different direction.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it in a way that, say, like Krypton season 2, I was not looking forward to Krypton season 2. I am looking forward to Titan season 2 because I think there was stuff there that was good, and I hope they're figuring it out and are going to give us a more consistent. And it looks like, and here's where I think I can transition into news. We have seen the official trailer now. That first trailer apparently didn't count. JK, LOL, here's the real trailer. And it looks better. It looks like they have a little bit more of a through line, and it's going to be a little more team building. And I'm hoping it's going to be more linear and direct and a little less jumpy with tone and storytelling and flashbacks versus what's happening now. So I'm actually bullish on this. Bearish, I don't know. I can't do finance terms, but
bullish. Yes.
Yeah, I'm bullish on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. That's, I agree with you. I think that's totally awesome.
And speaking of the trailer, here's where we call out Dan.
Yes.
Was it better, Dan? Did you like it?
Yes. I meant to. I'm so sorry I didn't email you over the course of the week. I meant to, and I didn't. So yeah, Dan Evans from the Deconstructing Dad podcast, who does edit professionally. That is his day job. We would love to hear your opinion on the second or the final Titans trailer. I think that all the stuff that he was saying that he didn't like, it was too much of a recap. It wasted a lot of time, and it didn't really establish any characters. I think all of that stuff that he was complaining about, they remedied in this trailer.
I think so too, but I would love to hear his opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Was there any other news for Titans?
One little bit of news. Showrunner Greg Walker said he has not gotten the go-ahead for season 3, but he is already plotting storylines and episodes for a potential future season 3. So he sees a long life for Titans.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. All right. You want to transition into other news?
Yeah. News for the shows.
I'm going to start with some Arrowverse news that's not TV specific, but is cool. And so I'm going to go with it. Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl are getting a serialized audio drama from Serial Box, which is SERIAL Box, which does like audiobooks over installments. And it's going to tell a story about Lex Luthor breaking the timeline such that our heroes are evil and they don't remember any other life, but their friends and families have flashes of them when they were good. And so it's going to be, I guess, getting Oliver, Barry, and Kara back to being the heroes that they're supposed to be, written by Gwenda Bond, who is an author. She writes Lois Lane books. She wrote Fallout and Triple Threat, which was kind of a new adulty type take on Lois Lane. So she's a writer. She writes in the comic universe. She's scripting this alt timeline evil superhero thing. I am into it, and this is what's going to be the tipping point to get me to check out Serial Box, I think. So I just thought that was cool, and I wanted to share.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That sounds awesome.
And frankly, I haven't been doing fictional podcasts the way that I like them, and I just haven't found one that has really grabbed me recently. So I'm excited to have something like that in my life sometime soon. So
cool. I will say, if you're looking for a quick pick me up, check out LeVar Burton Reads.
Is it like Reading Rainbow for adults?
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's him reading short stories. They usually have like some type of a science fiction or fantasy bent to them. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Check it out.
Neat. And I guess I should say it's going to be 8 episodes and it launches this fall, but we don't have a date for that quite yet. So,
okay.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, moving on to other news. Supergirl. We have a little bit of guest star news, and that is that Raul Coley is coming back to guest on Supergirl.
Yay!
I know. We know him, of course, as Ravi from iZombie. We also know him as Lena's ex, who had nanobots and died in season 2. So how is he going to come back?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Flashback, reanimated, nanobots are building his body back. I don't know.
Oh, yes, yeah. They just have the muscle memory and they just reform him. Oh man,
I'm into it. So I will be excited to have him. It'll be like a last little hit of him in our veins, because we're used to having him every week, and it's going to be hard, without him weekly. So it'll just be a little bit to keep us going until he lands his next gig. So that's Supergirl. Moving on to The Flash. Okay, Ed.
Yeah.
We don't really have news for The Flash, the show proper, but former Wally West portrayer Keenan Lonsdale released a music video this week in which he name-checked The Flash, and specifically his decision to leave The Flash. I had the privilege of watching Ed watch this video. It was on mute. All I saw was Ed's face, and it was a roller coaster. If I had been recording that, I would have so many GIFs, so many, of confusion and delight, and then confusion again, and then more confusion. You want to say things about the music video for Rainbow Dragon?
It seemed very personal.
It was yes. I feel like it was an artist's, I don't want to say coming out, but kind of like coming out and saying, here's who I am as an artist. This is what I want to do. And I left my CW show and now I'm doing this. And there was a lot of costume and makeup changes and creepy contact lens eye effects that I did not care for.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's showing all of the different sides of his personality, and it's very stream of consciousness, which I feel like most music videos are supposed to be. And yeah, it's just basically like his personal statement of like, I feel I want to do music because I feel like it's more personal to me. And the one part where he talks about people think of him as that guy from that TV show. And he's like, well, you know what? I could be my own person and do what I want. I could leave the Flash if I want to, and that and that's pretty much all he said.
It's a cool statement. I thought it was interesting, and it was not the Flash news I was expecting to be talking about this week, but it was interesting. It also made me think he's not likely to come back to the show anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know about that. I don't know if I'd say that. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be trying something else. And he's a talented guy. I'm sure there's some people who would say he's probably a better musical artist than he is an actor. But yeah, good for him. Good for him that he found another outlet.
Yeah. Good for you, Keenan. Good for you. So that's the Flash news. Moving on to Arrow. In an interview, David Ramsey talked a little bit about a possible Green Lantern show, and he's wow, moderate your excitement. He said what we all know in our hearts to be true, which is that it would be wildly expensive, and as such, it would take a lot of preparation and production and advanced planning, and overall, it made it sound like that's not happening. Like, he didn't say. Anybody who follows David Ramsey in interviews knows that he has zero chill. So if something is happening, he was like, yeah, Oliver and Felicity, the season that they got married. So like, he just cannot keep it inside. So I feel like if they were developing a Lantern show, he wouldn't have been able to stay calm about it. And the way he was talking about it, it sounded like, we've talked about it, but it would be expensive. So maybe someday. So I don't know. I'm bearish on this one.
Yeah. And he's right. I mean, I don't even know if you could do that as a movie now. Like, it's still super, super complicated. And they tried it as a movie and it didn't work for multiple reasons. But yeah, it would be insanely, stupidly expensive. And you say, well, Star Trek's been on TV for years, and yeah, but Green Lantern is a whole other thing.
Yeah, but it would be cool.
It would be cool.
It would happen.
It would be cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess don't count on that in fall of 2020. But life is long, so who can say? Next show, Legends of Tomorrow. There were two little back-to-back news stories that worked so well together I had to toss them in. So the first one is Terry Chen, who is an actor who's appeared on Jessica Jones and The Expanse, has been cast to play Genghis Khan, obviously one of the souls escaped from hell in the season finale, who they're going to be tracking down this season. So, okay, Genghis Khan, cool. And then I see Katie Lotz, of course, who plays Sarah Lance, is prepping work on her directorial debut for Legends of Tomorrow, and that episode is called Mortal Kombat. Combat. So Genghis Khan presumably will be the big bad in Mortal Kombat. So I thought that was kind of cute.
Wow. Sarah, let me ask you, which movie performance is your definitive Genghis Khan? Is it Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or is it The Conqueror?
It's Ricardo Montalban. Khan! Was that not what you were asking?
No. Have you ever seen The Conqueror, which was John Wayne playing Genghis Khan?
No, but that sounds like a bad racial casting decision.
Oh, it's a trip. Yeah. And they make him up. They do the slanty eyes and the mustache, and man. It's right up there with Marlon Brando in Tea House of the August Moon.
How about Mickey Rourke in Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yeah, Mickey Rooney. Yeah,
Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, not Mickey Rourke. That would be weird.
Yeah. It's even weirder because it's John Wayne, and there's no way you could not make John Wayne look like John Wayne. So I'm personally a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure guy. To me, that's the definitive Genghis Khan.
I guess I don't have my Genghis. You're not my Genghis Khan. So if you do, I'm glad for you, and I'm happy to get on board the Bill and Ted train with that.
Yeah. Or we'll see how Terry Chan does. Maybe he'll be a revelation. He'll bring a whole new interpretation of the role.
Will he be able to out con John Wayne? We'll see.
We'll see.
Moving on to Stargirl.
This
is just a little snippet, but we had a shot on Twitter of the family, the Whitmore family behind the scenes, and they're posed in front of the logo for Stargirl, which is delightful. It's a retro throwback. It's got the big star. It's got font that to my eyes looked kind of 80s. Ed, you said it looked older than that to you?
Well, to me, it was like 80s trying to look 50s.
Yeah. All right. I see that. But it's definitely wholesome, cheerful. Where Swamp Thing told you it was going to be horror, and Titans told you it was going to be like Stargirl. It feels like it's going to be a little probably brighter, lighter. You can see the branding and logo work that DC Universe, for all of my quibbles about some things that they have done, that logo work is on point. So
Yeah. And the cast for that looks great. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they do for that show. I feel like it's going to be completely different from everything we've seen on DC Universe.
And that's one of the things I like about it. And it's one of the reasons I'm still mad that they canceled Swamp Thing, because that would have been another tone that they were painting in for their network. But no. That's that on Stargirl. Moving on to Watchmen. We have a possible premiere date. October 20th has been sort of in the ether, and I think all but confirmed. So look for an October 20th premiere for Watchmen, which we are all, I'm waiting for that. I don't know. You're waiting for that, I assume.
Yeah. I think I was looking into this a little bit. It looks like that was the date that's listed in TV Guide's full premiere, but they haven't made an official announcement that it's that date. So
that strikes me as the kind of thing that it got included in some material accidentally, and TV Guide picked it up, or it was embargoed. I mean, I could see some, like, it's probably true. They just hadn't really released it yet, and somehow it got included in the roundup. So we'll see. We'll see. But, it's a Sunday. That makes sense. That's HBO's jam. So also, Damon Lindelof was talking a little bit more about what the show is going to be like. He mentioned that it's going to feature strict gun control in world, so even the police are going to have to make special requisition to get firearms and things like that. So it's going to be definitely old history, and that the show, Lindelof would not confirm that Jeremy Irons is playing Ozymandias. Okay, speaking of Khan, this is like Cumberbatch with the but he said the show's take on Ozymandias will surprise fans the most of anything. So I don't know what you do with Ozymandias to surprise us.
I don't know. Maybe it's really Rorschach in disguise.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Maybe maybe it's an illusion created by Dr. Manhattan.
I just want him to be nothing but calamari, or I'm sorry, galama, all the way through, just like as an in-joke squid thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. October 20th, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And finally, for news this week, Lucifer. We have the title for the season 4 premiere, and that title is Really Sad Devil Guy. And as we all know, Lucifer's titles tend to come from out-of-context dialogue from the episode. So I think we're going to have a mopey Lucifer stuck in hell. I assume. I mean, he could be sad about a lot of things, but really sad devil guy. So yeah, I'm just excited that we have a title for that, and that Lucifer season 4 is happening.
Yeah. Realizing like the way that ended, I wonder what like daily life is like in his court. Like... Does he have like a servant or a minion who's just like, hey Lou, how's it going?
I could see his minions trying to like evil tease him out of his sulkiness, but he's just consumed with ennui. I can see that happening.
All right. That was it for the news?
That's it for the news. Now we're to the winners of the week.
Winners of the week. All right. I'm going to go first, and it's a really simple one. It's my buddy Eugene, aka Arseface. I said it before. I got a moment I've been waiting for, which was him getting Jesse's apology. And then, of course, it's great. It's everything he asked for, and yet somehow it's not enough. And to see the dramatic turn, and now he's kind of a badass, and he's right up there with Saint of Killers, and like, okay, we got to take this guy out.
I think he needs a wardrobe upgrade if he's going to be one of the badasses of the show.
Someone get him some clothes, or a washing machine. Really.
Poor Eugene. That's a good choice. My winner of the week, also kind of straightforward, but I've at least found a way to cross both shows, and that is Unexpected Hell Beasts. So on Pennyworth, we got the literal devil, so that was a surprise. And then over on Preacher, bam, the angel's girlfriend is a demon. What? So I feel like denizens of hell popped up, and you expect it on Preacher, but it was a little bit more of a surprise on Pennyworth. So Unexpected Hell Beasts, my winner of the week.
There we go. All right. Sarah, we're done.
Hey, we were efficient too. Look at us.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
efficient-ish.
All right. Thanks everybody. That's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!